I just found out my fiancé of I've been with for 5 years was a monster in high school. I'm gonna type this fast, excuse the grammar. He's back for lunch and I don't know him to know anything yet. Okay guys, so I met my fiancé 5 years ago. I thought he was perfect. He's handsome, kind, funny, and has a stable job, cop. He's treated me so well since we met. He stopped me down for speeding and ended up with my number. Everything was going so. Looking back now, I should have seen the red flags, like his family and old friends joking about his temper and his high school bad boy days, and now I'm questioning, did my cat really run away or did he make him? I'm babbling. So here what happened: we had an engagement party in his hometown a few days ago and I got a Facebook message now long after warning me about my fiancé, saying he was this monster in high school. So I thought, lol, this is someone trolling. But then as the day went on, 5 more people messaged me, one being his cousin. I asked his cousin for proof because in my native dumb head I thought this was a joke because my fiancé is an amazing person. He is a cop, for God's sake. And his cousin told me give him a few hours. Well, about 2 hours ago my world turned upside down. I was added to a group chat with a lot of proof. I've seen videos, heard stories, and seen screenshots, even a memorial page of one of his victims, suicide at 16. Guys, this was horror movie level shit, from threats, assault, both physically / sexual, lots of misogyny and homophobia, even one of him harming person's dog while the kid screamed as my fiancé laughed. He looked about 18 in the video. The stories I heard both broke my heart and scared me, and I don't know what to do. Maybe he has changed. Should I confront him? Should I give him a chance to tell his side? Okay, so I'll give more information now. I'm alone. I spoke to his cousin and I asked why didn't they ever do anything since they have videos. He said, you haven't thought we tried years ago? Life isn't a fairy tale. The bad guy doesn't always face justice. Your future in-laws and fiancé made sure everything always went away. And I then asked why. Now tell me he was honest. They, him and other victims, wanted to warn me out of both concern but mostly revenge, because how dare he have a happy life after what he did to them, which fair? I asked did he know if my fiancé ever do anything like anger management or therapy after high school. He said he did, and I asked does he think my fiancé changed. He said while he isn't like his high school self anymore, people like him never truly change. I asked him if I decided to leave would he help me. He said he would, but we would need to make a plan that can't lead back to him for his safety. Okay, I'll answer some things that y'all keep being up. I can't 100% say he unalived my cat because my cat liked to escape and wander the neighborhood. People keep asking me why I didn't see any red flags in 5 years. I didn't notice them at the time. As for how we got together, people keep pointing out that was a red flag. Well look, I'm gonna be real here. At the time I thought I was hot stuff because I talked my way out of a ticket and he is really handsome, so I thought in my naive head it would be a cute story to tell our grandkids one day. I'm from a country where people don't fear cops like they do in America. Guys, he knows about the post. He just sent me this and said we need to talk. Comment. If this is real, the first red flag was a cop taking your personal number after flagging you down for speeding. That's a gross abuse of power and should never have happened. Do not marry him. It will make it even harder and more dangerous to get out down the line. This will not end well for you. That. And now look up the reported rates of domestic abuse for spouses of police officers. And note, that's the rate that it's reported. We all know tons is never reported. It's unlikely that it's used to be, and if a whole community's, including his own family, just response is to warn you to run, you should probably listen. I mean, judging by the people I know and interact with, this seems unbelievable. But if she is in a rich, white, or Christian circle, and especially if there is overlap there, this could absolutely still be the norm. In many circles, police brutality and corruption is still not discussed and they blindly revere them as the upholders of justice. Must be nice for the world to look that simple, honestly. I've met a lot of cops. I interned at a police department and spent extensive time with many officers. I can tell you right now that you're gonna get a really mixed bag. Like every career, there are some wonderful people and some really crummy ones. I will say that police work tends to attract people who want power or the illusion of it. Not all cops are flaming fucknuts. There are some people who, however misguided they may be, are trying to do good, but to think that someone is a good person solely because they're a police officer is one of the most naive things I've ever seen, especially since police abuse of power is so rampant. I have dated a broad spectrum of both men and women, from engineers to skydive instructors to doctors and strippers to mechanics. I draw a hard line at cops. That is a big fuck no from me. I'm suspect of what makes them become cops and what being a cop makes them become. I will take someone chronically unemployed and only occasionally housed over a police officer. After reading the title, I thought to myself, people change. As soon as I read this guy was a cop, my immediate thought was, no shit. It took just that one detail to totally turn around. So many 48 hours/Dateline stories that literally have the same exact storyline. Woman marries cop, woman dies by gun, cop husband claims it was suicide, ends up being homicide that the cop husband committed. The amount of homicides that seem to follow this exact scenario is insane. This, a TV dating expert who charged tens of thousands to join her elite dating company, would always say policemen beat and firemen cheat. She wouldn't date either. The numbers sadly talk for themselves. And how many wouldn't even bother reporting, as he's a pillar of the community, and you'd be trying to convince his co-workers and bosses. When he's probably already laid the scene to protect himself by saying you having an anger/drinking problem? And how many reports weren't filed because his co-workers would cover his ass when they did try to report? The moment he took your number at a stop, the red flags were waving. So unethical. His own family, people you don't know, heard about the engagement and are trying to save you a world of hurt. Do you live together? In his place, yours, shared? Personally, if I were you, I'd save all that evidence. Then I'd pack up and move out of his jurisdiction. I'd tell few where I was going and I'd just leave, send the ring back to him. Start over somewhere safe. Right away when reading this I was thinking, a cop was a monster in high school? Shocker. So many of them do it because it's basically a way to legally be a bully. I really want to like the police and believe they are around to protect us, but that's just not how it's worked out. Story 2. My mill told my fiancé that she wants to give me her mother's wedding ring, possibly replacing my current ring. If I refuse, it may turn into a fight. I've been with my fiancé for 3 years, engaged almost a year at this point. This weekend, my DFH, M31, and I, F30, went to our local mall and went to a few jewelry stores. We wanted to have him try on some wedding bands and see what he liked. While we were there, I decided to try on some simple bands to see what would match the engagement ring he got me. Afterwards, we walked out and he said that my trying on bands reminded him, his mom, F60, has mentioned that she has a ring from her mom that she wanted me to try on. I was a bit confused as to why. He said that she said we could use it as our wedding ring. I asked if it was a ring or a band and he said it was both as a set. I still looked at him and said, so I would wear that ring instead of the one you gave me. And he said it would mean a lot to my mom. This led to a bit of a back and forth. I haven't seen or tried on the ring his mom has, but I'm very attached to the ring that he got me and I told him as much. I told him it was the ring he got me. Selfishly, and silently, I thought this was the ring I imagined myself wearing forever. When we were still dating we talked about rings and he asked for my ideas. I put a lot of thought into what ring I actually wanted and he ended up buying the exact one I loved. I told him grandma's ring has to be some ring if I give this one up. I asked him if it would upset his mom if I didn't take it. He was honest and said he didn't know what she would say, but it was very likely that she would get upset. I started asking about a compromise. Could we take the wedding band and I wear it as a family ring? Could his brother make use of the wedding ring when he gets to that stage? Would it be enough if we accepted it and kept it if we had a daughter one day? No matter what solution there was, he always said she might get upset and actually said it would make her mad if we held onto it for a future daughter. I told him I'd look at the ring, that I'll keep an open mind, but I'm still attached to this ring because it's from him. I have a lot of questions about the ring. Does DFH have any connection with this ring? He rarely mentions his extended family, and when he does he's only mentioned that they are dramatic and toxic. Did his mom wear this ring to his dad before he passed, or is this just a ring? Did this ring symbolize a happy marriage, or is it just a piece of jewelry his grandma wore at a point in her life? Is he really okay with replacing the ring he got me with hers since we've nearly been engaged a year at this point? I don't know. I called my parents and asked them what they'd think. My dad kind of echoed my sentiments. The ring he gave you was a reflection of you, it's unique to you and your relationship, and it was a gift he bought for you. Meanwhile my mom was playing devil's advocate. If it's a family ring, it could be shown as a display of making you part of the family. Mothers and sons have a special bond, and since DFH doesn't have a sister, this is what his mom can do in regards to family heirlooms. She encouraged the wedding band option, and if I didn't like it I could still accept it and wear the ring if I was going to their house where she'd notice it. But I also think DFH is hoping I'll like the wedding band as a means of saving money. Which puts some pressure on me, I feel. I'm seeing the ring on Wednesday when we go to her house, but I love my engagement ring so much. I can't imagine giving it up. I don't want to fight and have it turn into a thing with his mom, But what if I don't like the ring? What's a diplomatic solution that minimizes the chance of upsetting my mill? Comment. This your fiancé's problem to resolve. If you like your ring, that's the end of it. You can accept it and then pass it on to the brother or your child, but you're not obligated to wear it. Put it someplace safe and that's the end of it. Right? This shouldn't even be her problem to fix, and she shouldn't be the subject of her future mother-in-law's anger if the ring is turned down and her fiancé handles it properly. I'm sorry mom, I bought my fiancé a ring that we both love that symbolizes our relationship. It is unique to us and she will be wearing it on her left hand. It is not up for negotiation. I do appreciate the beautiful sentiment and how you want to make her feel like part of the family. It might be a special moment between the two of you if you gift her with grandma's ring at the wedding and she can wear it on her right hand. This is really the crux, it symbolizes our relationship. A relationship between Up and her fiancé. It is not a relationship between Up, her fiancé, and his mother. Some people like the family connection. Up might even be happy to wear the heirloom at times. But it isn't the ring that symbolizes the intimate relationship between Up and her fiancé, and it's wrong to try to push yourself and your ring into the middle of it. The answer is obvious, though, no. Mommy dearest, keep the ring for our future children. We already have chosen our rings. Keep it well and safe. The children will be happy and proud. Tell them about grandma, her marriage, and the tradition when they are of age, and they will sure be happy to wear it. You can't just dump an ancestor's ring on someone just because it is someone else's and a family heirloom. At least help establish an emotional connection. And accept if they have already made other plans. It's not even clear yet whether there is a problem to resolve. The only info Up has at this point is really vague. She needs to find out what FMIL is actually thinking, because fiancé isn't giving her much to go on. There are a lot of posts making a lot of negative assumptions about the mill based on nothing more than the fiancé's vague word that she offered and might be upset. I don't think it's worth freaking out about before Up actually has some first-hand information about the whole situation.